Hi angels, hi my lovelies, it's lvluxegirl back again with another video. So today's video I have a vintage Dooney and Bourke collection, vintage Dooney and Bourke bags in my vintage Dooney and Bourke collection, you guys. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, then go ahead, get comfortable. Let's sit here for a minute, you guys. I just want to sit here for a minute and just start talking about some of these vintage Dooney and Bourke bags that I've amassed in my collection. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead, hit that like button right now. Go ahead, hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I upload new videos. So yeah, you guys, let's get started. Let's just get comfortable and jump right in talking about some of these vintage Dooney and Bourke bags. So I started off just really liking the vintage Gladstone bag. That's the bag that I fell in love with. I fell in love with the vintage Dooney and Bourke Gladstone bag, and I acquired one into my collection. I acquired one, you guys, that's just so beautiful that basically after that, it just sent me on a tangent. I was just searching just all over on the pre-love market, at consignment shops, and just all over trying to locate a few more of these bags. And I think I'm good. I think I'm good for right now. If you watch my channel, I'm an avid lover of vintage Coach bags, as well as vintage Louis Vuitton bags, and as well as new Louis Vuitton bags, new Coach bags, new Dooney and Bourke bags like the Florentine satchel, the Clayton, the Smith, all different types of Dooney and Bourke bags and Coach bags as well. But I do have to admit that I love the vintage bags. So like I said, I decide to go ahead and jump on into the world of vintage Dooney, and these are a few of them that I have so far in my collection. So I figured it would be good to do a vintage Dooney and Bourke collection for 2021, and then in about a year we'll come back and we'll see which other vintage Dooney and Bourke bags I have at that time. But for right now, these are the ones that I have, and I've done individual videos on them, but I just figured that it would be good to go ahead and show them all together in a collection. So let's get started. So the first one that I ended up getting into my collection that made me fall in love was the Gladstone. And I ended up getting a really nice minty one for something on the vintage market. It's, when I say mint, I mean in very good condition. I'm going to talk about that bag in a minute. But for right now, I want to start talking about some of these others. And I'll start with this one. This is a vintage Dooney and Bourke shoulder bag, you guys. And what made me fall in love with this one isn't so much the silhouette of it. I like the silhouette of it, but when I look for vintage bags, like my vintage Coach and my vintage Dooney and Bourke, what I tend to look for is condition. If it's in really good condition, it'll sell me just about every time. If it's lasted all those years in such good condition, then sometimes I'll take it. It doesn't matter what the silhouette is. I do, of course, want to stick to my favorite silhouettes, because if my favorite silhouette is a satchel, a top handle or a satchel, like the Speedy or a Boston bag, a tote, top handle, silhouettes, satchels are my favorite, because I'm not a fan of the slouch. But I mean, sometimes you're gonna find a bag that's in such mint condition. If it's in mint condition and it's a beautiful bag, then if it's a hobo, a crossbody, then I'm still gonna gravitate towards it, you guys. I'm a handbag addict. So yeah, so this is a shoulder bag, and what drew me to this vintage Dooney and Bourke bag is the condition. And what I mean when I say condition is that you guys know a lot of the vintage Dooney and Bourke bags have the brown color leather, like this one, this shoulder bag right here. So it's common to see this shoulder bag by Dooney and Bourke with that brown leather. However, you can see this one has the black leather, and this is not dyed or treated. It's an all-weather leather bag, but I mean, it's this black leather right here is the original color that it came with this bag, the original color that Dooney made it, black on black, which is very rare and hard to find. As a matter of fact, I have the information on it from the catalog right here. And I want to go ahead and show that. I'm going to insert a picture of it because I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. but it shows you where this shoulder bag was produced and it shows you that it was produced in the black with the black leather trim, you guys, right there. So this is the information from an original Dooney and Bourke catalog about this particular shoulder bag. And that's what I thought was such a rare find for me to go ahead and find this beauty, because you're gonna, even if you find it, you know, on the pre-loved market, you're not gonna always find it black on black with the black leather trim on the black leather, pebbled leather, you know, of a vintage bag in this lovely condition. So that was what was the selling point for me on this particular bag, that I had to have it in my collection, you guys. And I actually did an unboxing of this, and if that's something that you're interested in, then I'll go ahead and put that unboxing on my channel so you guys can keep my company. Like I said, I've already obviously I unboxed it, but I haven't put that video on my channel yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you guys in the upcoming weeks, in the upcoming days, so you can see the actual unboxing of this beauty right here. But it's such a lovely bag. The pebbled leather on this bag is so nice. The duck on the bag is very, very nice, as well as the little the little fob, the little hanging dangle is very nice. And this is what it looks like in the back of the bag. And it has a pocket. It has a rear pocket that's very convenient. The most convenient thing about this bag, it has a rear pocket and it has a front pocket, but I'm not gonna lie to you. The most convenient thing about this bag is the shoulder drop. Look at that shoulder drop, you guys. The shoulder drop on this bag is I'm gonna measure it. It's nothing to be played. It's so long. It's gonna go over your shoulder so conveniently. It's gonna go over your shoulder so conveniently. And matter of fact, I was gonna see maybe if I stand up with what I have on, you guys can see the shoulder drop. So you see how long that shoulder drop is? The shoulder drop is very, very long on this bag. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much, because this bag, matter of fact, I'll probably insert a photo of it as well, so you can see how it falls. And when you put it on, when you're wearing your modern clothes, when a vintage bag, that's why I like them in such good condition. When a vintage bag is in such good condition, nice minty condition, then it doesn't look, when you wear it with your up-to-date clothes, it doesn't look vintage. If think about it, if you put on a vintage bag that's kind of older and has a lot of wear and has been a little beat up, and you put that on with your new clothing, it's gonna look kind of like, okay, you have on an old bag. Why does she have on an older bag with her new clothes? But if you put on a vintage bag that's in such good condition, like this one or this one, because this one is in very good condition too, then it doesn't look like a vintage bag. Even though you know it's a vintage bag, you're still happening. You're still that it girl. You still got that it factor, because it's a nice new, condition. Condition is key. If it's in good condition, can't nobody knock you. If it's in great condition, you can wear your bag and be confident. Wear your bag and be confident all the time, no matter what condition your bag is in. But I'm just saying, if it's in good condition, then ain't nobody gonna be able to say nothing to you about your vintage bag, you guys. Because maybe some people don't like older vintage bags. It doesn't matter. You're wearing it because you like it and you're confident in it. So rock that vintage Dooney and Bourke, you guys. Rock those vintage bags with style and class and grace. They're beautiful, and they're such a treasure, because anybody, all of us, even me included, I order new bags online. You can order a new bag online, but to find a vintage one that's so beautiful and beloved, they're classics. They're so pretty. I can talk about these vintage bags forever, you guys. I get so adamant and so into it when I'm talking about the vintage bags. But yeah, so this is my first beauty right here. And let me show you guys what the interior of this bag looks like. The vintage pull tab is so nice as well. That just does it for me. That makes me feel so happy when I see those vintage pull tabs. And the interior of this bag is so lovely and clean. Once again, if it's in great condition on the exterior, then it's probably in good condition on the interior as well. And that's what the interior of this beauty looks like. You see the nice raw leather in there. It's so beautiful, you guys. And this lovely bag does have 4 feet. and this is a vintage shoulder bag, you guys. So this is the first one that I wanted to talk about from my collection. The next Dooney and Bourke bag that I wanted to talk about from my collection, and I did a video on this bag just the other day, so I won't go too in detail about this one, but can we talk about the beautiful leather? The beautiful leather on this lovely beauty right here is just so pretty, you guys. That leather is just so beautiful, and she also is in amazing condition. I was able to get her in amazing condition. Now let me say that I do have two vintage bags that are in not so good condition. I ended up locating them at a consignment store, and I have to admit, even though they were in, you know, not so good condition, I just couldn't leave them. I felt like I had to rescue them, you guys, and bring them home with me and give them some love. So I'm going to talk about those two bags out of my Dooney and Bourke collection as well. But for right now, I want to appreciate this golden beauty right here. This golden, black and golden honey beauty of this Dooney and Bourke shoulder bag. I talked about this bag in a recent video on my channel, and even the fob, I talked about how even the fob on this beauty is not all banged up and scratched up like most of the older vintage Dooney and Bourke bags. This is a classic, you guys. I could see myself wearing this with a nice beige color pantsuit, you know, wearing it just with my Burberry scarf that has that camel beige tone. I should have brought it in here with me, but I could just see me rocking this bag with either all black or with beige, and wearing it with a nice beige suit or with my Burberry scarf, and I think it would look really pretty with that. So here, you guys, this is the second one in my collection, and I love the fact that it has the shoulder strap, and then it has this top handle. It also has a top handle, and look at the beautiful leather of the condition, the way this bag lasted. It's so lovely. And then it has a turn lock closure that's just such a nice vintage feature. And this is what the interior looks like, raw leather. And you see I have the strap in there as well. And then this is what the front of the bag looks like under the flap right there. So this is my second beauty in my handbag collection, my vintage Dooney and Bourke handbag collection, you guys. I absolutely love this shoulder bag. And I will go ahead and link the video when I went really in detail about this bag. I'll go ahead and link it down below. So that's the second one. The next one that I want to talk about is this one right here, and this is one of the Gladstone bags. So I ended up picking up this Gladstone bag, you guys, and I'm so happy with it. I have the Gladstone in a red color, a beautiful red color, and I wanted to go ahead and add a black one to my collection. The silhouette of this is what I'm in love with. I'm in love with the speedy type Boston silhouette of this bag. Now, my larger Gladstone, I have it in large, and this is the small. My larger Gladstone is like bellissimo. It's so perfect. This one is nice too, but this one isn't as perfect as that one. However, it's still in good condition. When I initially purchased this bag, it was in the shape of it reminded me more of like Louis Vuitton Alma, or it reminded me more of a Dooney and Bourke zip satchel. It was taller, and I really like the Gladstone, you know, like this, in this rounded shape. So just like with anything else, you're gonna form your bag to fit your shape and to how you like it. And now that I've been wearing it and I like it a lot more, you know, I've been able to kind of form it to the shape where I'm happy with it. Even though I do like the Dooney and Bourke zip satchel, and even though I do like the Dooney and Bourke zip satchel and the Dooney and Bourke Bitsy and the Louis Vuitton Alma, I tend to like the shape of the Speedy a little bit more. So I like my Gladstones to look more like that silhouette of a Boston bag. So now I am happy with the shape of this Dooney and Bourke small Gladstone, and she's in very good condition as well. She came with the lock. Her ducks are beautiful, both the fob and the round duck in the front. You can see all that delicious pebbled leather, and the handles are nice. They have a little bit of darkening, just a tad at the top, but not that much, you guys. And then this is what the back of this bag looks like. And then also here is the bottom with the 6 feet that we know the Gladstones are known for, but you can see her corners are very, very nice. That's one thing that I look for on my checklist when I'm looking for vintage Dooney and Bourke. I always try to make sure that I get a bag, or even with Louis Vuitton as well. If it's a vintage bag, Coach bag, I always want good corners, you guys, because the corner is where shows the most, I'm stuttering. The corners is where shows most of the wear, is what I was trying to say. So you want to check your corners on your bag. Okay, so the next vintage beauty as far as Dooney and Bourke goes that I want to talk about in my Dooney and Bourke collection, you guys, is this one. And this is the creme de grace for me, you guys. I'm going to show you my creme de grace of my vintage Dooney and Bourke collection, and then I'm going to show you the 2 that I ended up locating at a consignment shop that's not too wonderful. But this baby right here, this baby right here, I've talked about her plenty of times on my channel. My vintage Dooney and Bourke large Gladstone. She is in pristine condition. When I located this bag, I looked at some others and I just couldn't accept any less. I had to have her in my collection, and this is the large Gladstone. And I hope her beauty always shows up on camera. You can see how lovely she is with the pebbled leather. Just everything about her is so nice. She has the older fob, and you can see there's minimal to no wear as far as scuffs and scratches on her fob. Her duck is beautiful. The leather is beautiful. There's a little creasing right there, but I mean, for a vintage bag, look at the beauty of the pebbled leather. You're not going to get, in my opinion, any better than that. I have my other Gladstone that is very nice, and I did a comparison on my channel. So make sure you check out my playlist for those other comparisons. But you could see how lovely the corners are with no wear. I can't even say minimal wear. They don't have any wear. It was like this bag was never used. Very, very nice. She came with her lock and her keys. You see, I have the clochette right here, and the clochette does have the keys in there to open and close the lock. And then she has the beautiful 6 feet, just like my other Gladstone. And this really did it for me, you guys, when I saw all this leather at the top right here on this Gladstone, the good condition. And the camera might show a few scratches because that's just what the camera does. The camera always picks up and shows a little bit more wear than a bag actually has, that's not visible to the eyes. But you can see how beautiful that leather is, you guys. And then I do have her stuff. I have her stuffed with her paperwork, and I have a dust bag in here and everything. I am not gonna go off, I'm not gonna show too much of that because I do have other videos on my channel about this large Gladstone. I have her strap in here, and I'll just go ahead and show the interior really quickly. Let me take the stuffing out so we can take a look at the interior really quickly. Okay, and this is what the interior of her looks like, you guys. It's so beautiful and clean in there. So beautiful and clean. I had a nail file in there from the last time when I used it. But I was looking for that. She's so beautiful and clean in there. All that raw leather up against the side. You can see under her pockets is so beautiful. Let me go and show you. I'll go ahead and take her pockets up so you can see. There we go. So that's what she looks like with the raw leather in there under the pockets. So clean. The condition of this bag was just so clean, you guys. So yeah, this is my Dooney and Bourke large Gladstone, and she's a prized possession in my collection, in my vintage Dooney and Bourke collection. I love her so much. And yeah, I wanted to show you guys this bag. So the last 2 beauties that I wanted to discuss in my vintage Dooney and Bourke collection are these 2 beauties right here. And I did go ahead and obtain these from a consignment shop. And like I said, they weren't in the best condition, but I just couldn't leave them, you guys. These 2 beauties right here. And this one is a older shoulder bag. She's an older shoulder bag, and she does have, her corners do have a little bit of wear, like I said. And I'm gonna work on just conditioning her. but I figured, you know, even if I don't use her as a shoulder bag, I could use her as a pouch. You know, I could use her as a pouch inside of a larger travel bag or for toiletries, you guys. The interior of her is leather and it's so clean. And then the last and final Dooney and Bourke bag in my vintage Dooney and Bourke collection is none other than this one right here. And this little beauty right here is one of the Big Duck bags by Dooney and Bourke. The Big Duck bags to me are just so pretty when you get them with that large big duck. They have this one, and then they have one where the duck takes up like the whole front of the bag. That's the same exact silhouette. It's a crossbody just like this one, and it's a vintage Dooney and Bourke bag with the big duck. This one was in this beige color, which does show some wear over time and with age, but it's okay. It was still very nice. All of her little brass hardware says Dooney and Bourke, and it says solid brass. So it's really good to get, you know, an authentic, original, vintage Dooney and Bourke bag at a consignment shop and beat the cost just a little bit. When you beat the cost just a little bit, you guys. So yeah, today I wanted to share these vintage beauties from my Dooney and Bourke collection, you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video and sticking out with me while I discuss these vintage Dooney and Bourke bags in my vintage Dooney and Bourke collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on my channel, and come back for more vintage Dooney and Bourke videos. And I'll see you soon in another video.